In this year, we're going to be looking at JavaScript functions. A function is a block of code which is designed to be what we call called upon, which means we can use it at any time we want to call it. So how does it look? So basically, we have a function declaration, then we give it a name, and then what we do is we pass any data that needs to be used in there. And inside these curly braces, we put down what the actual function does. So if we look at, for example, what's happening here, inside we've got this internal example here. Okay, we'll just move this out of the way. So inside a HTML file, we have a function called myFunction, and what we're doing is we're passing in two values, P1 and P2, and those values will be returned, will be multiplied. And inside the HTML file, we're saying that the values that are going to be used are 4 and 3. So these values get passed into here, 4 and 3, and then obviously it's 12. So if I change these values here, say to 10 and 10, and run it. Now remember, JavaScript is designed to be dynamic, so it always will work inside the HTML. So whatever happens in HTML is going to be impacted here. So your functions can be either in the head of the document, or they can be in the body, or you can also have them in an external file. So that's a basic example of a function. The syntax for a function is you always start off with a function name, then you follow it by the name. Now the name needs to follow the same rules as variables, so it can't start with a number. You have to be careful of what special characters you use, and underscores can be used, no spaces. In the brackets is you bring the data in. So remember, functions can do two things. They can either bring data in and change it, like we did there with the two examples, or they can just run a script inside them and not bring any data. So the return section of a function is designed to return those elements of what we change back to the browser. So in this example here, we're bringing 4 and 3 in, and then we're multiplying them, and then we're returning the results of that multiplication back to the HTML code. So, as I said before, with variable names, it's a good idea to have a proper naming. So here you can say 2 Celsius. So we know here we're converting a Fahrenheit value, and we're working out its equivalent in degrees Celsius. So if you look at this example here, you can see that we've got a script here, a function converting to Celsius degrees. We're getting the FA, which is the Fahrenheit, and this is what we're returning. We're returning the actual formula for converting degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So you'll find functions are really useful inside JavaScript. They're used, there's actually quite a few predefined functions, which we'll be looking at later on, such as the document object management system, which we call DOM, and the BOM, which is the browser object management system. So there's a lot of pre-inbuilt functions. Otherwise, you can make your own customized function here. And you should be using functions as it saves on code. Instead of having to write the code over and over again, you can just declare it once and then call upon it whenever it needs to be used. If you've got any more questions on how to use functions, please let me know. Otherwise, I can have other tutorials.